Hello children, welcome for today's class. So today we are going to study regarding locomotion and movement. So the topic going to be covered are types of movement, locomotion, classification of muscle and skeletal muscle structure. So first let us study what is locomotion. So when the movement includes the change of place, you call that as locomotion. Walking, running, swimming, so here the change of place occur. That's we call that as locomotion. So modes of locomotion performed by various animals, it vary according to their habitats. Aquatic animals, they do one type of locomotion, and terrestrial animals, they prefer other, and flying animals, they prefer other. They have wings and all. Okay, like that they show adaptations also according to their movements and locomotion. So here now let us study what is the different type of movements. The movements, it can be amoeboid movement or ciliary movement, okay, and flagellar movement, or it can be muscular movement. So amoeboid movement, so that is like amoeba by forming pseudopodia. When the movement occur, you call that as amoeboid movement. In our body, the leukocytes, they can do this type of amoeboid movement. Then ciliary movement, it involves the cilia. Example, paramecium, they do. So in our body, so you can see the tracheal walls, and apart from that, so when you observe, the fallopian tube also, they have ciliary epithelium. Okay, and the flagellar movement, it is shown by sperm, and euglena also, they show unicellular organism. So muscular movement, all the animals whosoever possess muscles, they show muscular movements. So all the type of movements, it does not involve in locomotion. So some movements, they result in locomotion. For example, leukocytes and all, no, there is, it does not, when they move, we don't call that as locomotion. Actually, that you call that as movement. And also the ciliary movement, trachea, the cilia, no, the ciliated epithelium also, they show movement. The same way fallopian tube also, for the movement of ovum, that is helpful for that purpose. So all the movements, it does not result in locomotion. When there is change in place occur, then only you call that as locomotion. So here now let us study regarding muscle. So muscle is a specialized tissue. It is of mesodermal in origin. In our body, about 40 to 50% of the body weight of adult human, it is made up of muscle only. So here the muscles, they show various properties: excitability, conductivity, contractility, elasticity. Elasticity, they can stretch and lengthen also, and they can return to original shape. Like that, these are the various properties of muscle. So muscles, they can be classified into three main categories on the basis of criteria, that is location, appearance, and nature of regulation of other activities. Now let us study regarding the classification of muscle. So that is first skeletal muscle. So this is skeletal muscle. So here in case of, why do we call that a skeletal muscle? Because they show attachment with skeleton, and they are voluntary in movement, voluntary control. So functions, they helpful in locomotion and posture. Okay, for changing posture, for movement from one place to another, and it is helpful in that purpose, skeletal muscle. And next is smooth muscle. So smooth muscle, so the inner wall of visceral organs, they show this smooth muscles, or that it can be known as visceral muscles also. They don't have striations, that's why it is smooth, and they are involuntary in activity and function, transport of food, ovum transport, like that it is helpful. Next one is cardiac muscle. It is present only in heart only. So this cardiac muscle, so they are involuntary in action, and they are striated, and they are branched also. That is a special feature. Okay. So because of them, the cardiac muscle, they show the properties of both striated and smooth muscle. That's why it has been classified under the special category. Okay, so now let us compare all the three muscles: skeletal muscle, visceral muscle, and cardiac muscle. Skeletal muscle, they are voluntary in action. Visceral muscles are involuntary. Cardiac muscles also involuntary in action. So then the cells are multinucleated in skeletal muscles. In visceral muscles they are uninucleated, and cardiac muscle also the cells are uninucleated. In striated muscle the fibers are cylindrical and branched. So here the fibers are spindle shaped. Here the special feature, they show intercalated discs and they are branched. They show striations also, and apart from that they show the branching structure, connectivity. So that is that you call that as intercalated discs. Okay, now let us see the location of various muscle fiber in the body. Cardiac muscle, it is present in the heart. You can see the skeletal muscle and the smooth muscle. Okay, so next one, regarding skeletal muscle, let us study in detail. The skeletal muscle, actually it is made into a bunch. Okay, so here I can see the muscle fiber, it is enclosed. Small muscle fibers are enclosed in fascicles, and the fascicles are once again made together as a bunch, and later it attaches to the skeleton by means of tendon bones, by means of the connective tissue called tendon. The skeletal muscle is a form of striated muscle tissue, and it is mainly control of somatic muscle fiber. It is under the control of somatic muscle, existing under the control of somatic muscle fibers. So most of the skeletal muscles are attached to bones by means of tendons, what we have seen. So the muscle fibers are made into a number of small muscle fibers, are grouped into bundles that you call that as fascicles. Okay, so each muscle bundle, it has no number of muscle fibers, and each muscle fiber has membrane. Because it is a cell only, it has membrane, and that membrane you call that as sarcolemma, and the sarcolemma it is enclosed in cytoplasm called sarcoplasm. Okay, the sarcoplasm, it contains mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and many thin parallelly arranged this filamentous rod-like structures that you call that as myofibrils. So you can see the structure. So here single muscle fiber, it has been enlarged here. We can see striations, and somewhere it is dark and some places it is light. So that's why it gives the typical, the banding nature. That's why you call that a striated muscle. It is the photograph. How does it muscle fiber looks under microscope? In some places only myosin, that is thick filament, is present. In some places only the actin filament. In few places you can see myosin and actin both. So now the structure of myofibril in detail let us study. So it is on the basis of the lighter and darker appearance, we can classify the bands into two categories, that is light bands and dark bands. The light bands you call that as I band, that is isotrophic band, and this dark bands you call that as anisotrophic band. Okay, that is A bands. Here a single this myofibril, it has been microstructure, it has been enlarged and has been shown here, single sarcomere. So sarcomere is the feature. You see here sarcomere, the portion between two Z lines, you call that as sarcomere. This is the functional contraction unit. So this is Z line, in between two Z line from here to here. So this one you call that as one sarcomere. So what it is been given in purple color, that is dark portion, that is actin filament. The red color one, that is the purple color, that is myosin, and the red color, that is actin filament. Purple color given is myosin, and the other one is actin filament. Okay, so here the myosin filament, it is a thick filament, and the other one is thin filament, thin one. So the arrangement you can see here, how is it getting arranged? In some places you can see only myosin. So this one you call that as this place, that one only myosin is present. That one you call that as Hess zone. And you can see the I band, only the actin filament is present. Actin filament. And here you can see both myosin and actin are present. So that is this portion you call that as A band, and this portion you call that as I band. This is sarcomere from one Z line to other Z line, and the Z line, this portion so in the center you can see some overlapping of filaments in the I band, that you call that as Z line or Z line. Okay, in between one Z line to other Z line, so that you call that as one sarcomere. The contractile portion, no, when you observe here in the central part of A band, no, there will be one small the place, no. So here there is no overlapping of this thin filaments. So this place you call that as H zone. There is no overlapping of thin filaments, that you call that as H zone. Okay, so today we are concluding up to this. Then tomorrow we'll meet in the next class, children.